Is Hillary Clinton making a run at the vice presidential nomination? Yeah. Well, I got some unfortunate news for you. Some people might be screaming, hell no. I'm here to tell you, yeah, probably. But hey, what's new? Hillary Clinton likes losing. So let's talk about it. There has been some legitimate buzz around Hillary Clinton, and not only Hillary Clinton, but her machine, and the machine's undue influence over not only the 2016 election, the primary, and obviously the general, not only the Democratic primary election right now, but also they're already trying to put their thumbs on the scales for the 2020 general election. As you all know, Neera Tanden, Center for American Progress, Joe Biden's, and the Warrens of the world, these are all part of the Hillary Clinton machine. Not even just the Hillary Clinton machine, but the Bill Clinton machine as well. So why would I all of a sudden just come out of nowhere and be like, well, clearly there's a ploy here? I don't know if you all just heard. Hulu is releasing a documentary called Hillary. What? Now I know what people might be thinking. Well, that would be super smart to do for Hulu, right? Yeah, except for no, this is probably the most disliked politician in the country. I mean, poll after poll has come out and said Hillary is less popular than Donald Trump. Okay? Last I checked, Hillary was actually less popular than foot fungus. Some people think that foot fungus has more healthy properties than Hillary Clinton. Okay, this is real life. And so with that being said, you have to wonder, what will be the overall goal trying to be achieved here? What the hell do you think you're going to get? And why would Hulu do something like this? There's really no financial incentive to do this. Hillary Clinton, ladies and gentlemen, tried to do a book tour. Remember what happened to Hillary? It was an abysmal failure. It was done. It was nothing. It was laughable. Nobody showed up. She didn't sell the book either. The book, nobody wanted to buy it. Nobody cared. I'm pretty sure Jared's book, What Happened to Bernie Sanders, actually did better than Hillary's book. And she went on a whole promo tour about it. She tried to do a speaking tour. Her and Bill had to cancel like the second half of the tour. They would open up these arenas, and you cut off about half of the arena anyway, because obviously Hillary Clinton isn't like, Aerosmith or something. But even after that, they had to cut off the whole second half of. They couldn't fill the seats. They couldn't fill the seats. So even after they filled the seats, or even after they couldn't fill seats, even after they couldn't sell books, even after all of that, it didn't matter. Hulu still thought it was a bright idea to bring Hillary Clinton on for a documentary. The two-time loser. Or was it their bright idea? It makes you wonder if someone else came up with this bright idea, doesn't it? It's a good question. As Hillary Clinton is kind of in a unique position where she knows she can't really run by herself and win. Not after getting beat like that. That would be considered pompous. However, we have known throughout history, well, some of the most unpopular politicians in the nation become vice presidents, ladies and gentlemen. Just as Joe Biden, who is also a two-time loser who became vice president, who now has a legitimate chance to be president. Speaking of Joe Biden. For those of you who are curious, clearly it wouldn't be Elizabeth Warren who picked Hillary Clinton to be her vice president because, well, Hillary Clinton didn't exactly keep up with her end of the bargain when she basically coaxed Elizabeth Warren into believing that if she endorsed Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders and shut up about the rigging, that she would make her vice president. Instead, brought the progressive firebrand Tim Kaine, who has always been known to galvanize the left and bring in independence. I guess She thought that because, well, Tim Kaine just might be more conservative than Hillary Clinton. Maybe that's why she thought that. I don't know, but it wasn't a good idea. Now, with that Hulu special, with that speaking tour, with that book, with the smears against Tulsi Gabbard, even with Hillary Clinton coming out and saying you have to pick the candidate that can best beat Donald Trump, who does she think that is? It isn't Elizabeth Warren. We know it's Bernie, but we damn sure, well, really it's Bernie and Tulsi and even Yang. They all have better chances to beat Donald Trump than Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren, but that's not who she's talking about. We damn sure know she didn't talk about Tulsi, even though Tulsi is in the lead by far, not even close, as far as Trump voters who said they're not voting for Trump this election cycle, but only if they get one other candidate that they choose. And Tulsi is by far their choice. But that's not who they want. That's not who Hillary wants. When Hillary says that, she means by now. So if Joe Biden gets the nod, a lot of people may be thinking, well, it might be Elizabeth Warren that gets that VP spot. That's why Warren did everything she did. Well, let me be as nice as not possible here. Warren is an idiot. Warren is gullible. Warren is a manipulator. She's not a leader. She's not a critical thinker. And I can almost guarantee you it will not be Elizabeth Warren. Warren does not have the clout. One, Ukraine Gate. For those of you who do not know, if you have not been watching this show, Ukraine Gate was never really about Donald Trump. It was more so about Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and the people who collaborated with them. Or really, the people who set them up. Because Joe Biden doesn't have the type of pull that people think he does. His son didn't have that type of pull. Somebody put him in that position and set the game up for him. And it would probably be the person who set up that, while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, set up the former Ukraine administration. So of course, when you're trying to hold Hunter Biden accountable as a prosecutor from that administration, well then all Biden has to do is go over there and handle Joe Biden. All he has to do is go over there and handle business and say, if you don't fire this prosecutor, then we're going to withhold money. And there's almost nothing you can do about it because we have control over your entire administration and you know it. Because Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton planted the seeds to get that administration elected very early on. A New York Times article discusses it. You should look it up. It's 2015, referring to the Iranian One deal. So if Hunter Biden goes down, Joe Biden goes down. If Joe Biden goes down, well, of course, the Clintons aren't too far from there. So Joe Biden now has to worry about, well, Warren might be nice for a pick for me to bring in those faux progressives. However, Hillary has leverage. We also can't forget that Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, or the Clinton mafia, if you will, they have history together. Remember that 94 crime bill that Bill Clinton passed, that are signed, that Hillary Clinton worked very hard to get passed? Well, I remember because that's when Hillary Clinton decided to call people who look like me, men who look like me, super predators. She worked very hard to get that passed. Now, with that being said, that bill wasn't called the Bill Clinton crime bill. It was called the Biden bill, the Biden crime bill. Joe Biden worked very hard, and Hillary Clinton worked very tirelessly to get that legislation passed. They worked together. They worked in tandem. They have history together. Now, somebody would say, well, why would Joe Biden be that close even to Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton? Like, even at that point, what was it that made them gravitate towards each other to work together in order to make sure that Bill Clinton was seen as successful, and then, of course, sell his bullshit, right? Sell his bullshit to the public and convince people that what he was doing was the right thing. Well, even before that, Bill Clinton and Joe Biden had history together. See, after they got pummeled by Ronald Reagan, the Democrats came up with this bright idea. Hey, let's work with the Koch brothers and be as centrist as humanly possible. It's an oversimplification, but you get my point. Now, with that, they came up with this organization called the Democrat Leadership Council, the DLC. And almost every member or every DLC, I bet you didn't know that, did you? The only one who broke that rule was Obama. So even in 2008, ladies and gentlemen, when they were saying it's her turn, they meant that shit. That was real life. Even in 2016, when they were saying it's her turn, they meant it. That was not conjecture. They meant it was her turn, quite literally, because Bill Clinton was the first Democratic president that was put in position from the DLC. And then, of course, not a lot of people know this, Al Gore was also part of the DLC, but he removed himself before he ran for president, because obviously that could come back to bite him, because he was running on being what? An environmentalist, being anti-war, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But once he removed himself, it also removed himself from that protection of the centrists, which is how George Bush was able to steal it from him. He didn't have that protection anymore. Even in the courts, despite the fact that we know the Supreme Court at the time had really the Supreme Court and the federal courts had really been in favor of Bill Clinton, because Bill Clinton swept through the country and put all of his U.S. attorneys and his federal judges in. Forward, yeah, we didn't get a Joe Biden president, but we did get a Joe Biden vice president, part of the Democrat Leadership Council. And oh, by the way, who was Secretary of State? Another member of the DLC, Hillary Clinton. Vice president, who was also part of the DLC. So you get the pattern that you're beginning to see here. Basically, since '84, they have had more or less a line of Democrats who are going to have their legitimate shot at the presidency. So Hillary and Biden's history go back much further than the Obama administration, obviously much further than 2016. It goes back before Bill Clinton became the president. It goes all the way back to the 80s. They have history together, and it's clear that if you understood what the Democrat Leadership Council was about and why it was created, which was to be the centrist counter to a race, that his conservatism, because that's essentially what it is, can win elections. It can't, but that's why they're so excited to prove it. So you also have to put a woman there if you're Joe Biden, because, well, you're Joe Biden. I don't over you, essentially. And serving 8 terms. So who would be the natural transition? And it needs to be understood, truthfully, if Joe Biden can't serve 8 years and Hillary Clinton decides to take over, because of course she will. I mean, it'll be like the rest of Hillary Clinton's career. Doesn't she like to be handed everything? Do you think at that point, the people that Joe Biden, do you think that they will allow a primary to be ran while Hillary Clinton is the vice president trying to take over as president? So it is a very, very high likelihood that Hillary Clinton is vying for a vice president spot. And this Joe Biden run has always been more about Hillary Clinton than anybody else, which explains the documentary, which explains the speaking tours. It's the same logic I use when trying to help people understand why I knew Bernie Sanders was running for president again. Because you don't stay in the spotlight to the degree that Bernie Sanders is staying in. You didn't stay in the spotlight to the degree that Tulsi was staying in after 2016. You didn't stay in the spotlight. That's how I know AOC is trying to run for president. You don't stay in the spotlight to that degree that AOC is trying to stay in unless you are running for president, or you plan on running for president, or you work for a person who is trying to run for president. That's why it's so easy to pinpoint AOC's ultimate goals. It's not rocket science. That's why in 2016, like I said, I was telling people the end of 2016, the beginning of 2017, Tulsi's running for president. I hadn't even talked to her yet. I knew then what was going on. So Hillary is not staying in the spotlight because she's hurting for money. She's staying in the spotlight because she's sending out a reminder to the Democrats. Don't forget who got you here. And don't. So, we'd love to know what your thoughts are about that. Leave a like and a comment below. And always remember, more than anything else, ladies and gentlemen, find your balance. Peace. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell if you like that segment of Mikasa Sukasa. Of course, if YouTube is giving you trouble, as it always does, you can download the Rockfin app and follow us there. Also, if you want to continue to help our show grow, you can help us reach our goal of 500 patrons on Patreon and donate as little as $1. Really, anything helps.